How? Show me something that he did spectacular. Show me something that he did outrageous. Show me.
All right.
His power not outrageous.
Okay.
Gervonta Davis recently mocked Shakur Stevenson after Stevenson withdrew from his scheduled WBC lightweight title defense against Joe Cordina due to a hand injury requiring immediate surgery. According to reports from Matchroom, the highly anticipated fight, which was set to take place on the undercard of Dimitri Bivol versus Artur Beterbiev at the Riyadh season event in Saudi Arabia on October 12th, is now off. The news has disappointed fans who were eagerly awaiting Stevenson's return to the ring. Stevenson had been spotted training with Terence Crawford in the weeks leading up to the fight, with speculation that he might have pushed himself too hard. Whether it was an attempt to impress the boxing star or simply the pressure of preparing for a major fight, the injury resulted in a torn tendon in his knuckle, requiring immediate surgery. The injury will keep Stevenson out of action until early 2025, according to promoter Eddie Hearn. Hearn expressed disappointment at the news, saying he hurt his hand after sparring and tore a tendon in his knuckle. He had immediate surgery, and while he's disappointed, he'll return strong in 2025. Stevenson also released a statement sharing his frustration over missing the fight, but expressing optimism for his comeback. "I've been feeling great in camp, but I have to listen to the doctors. This setback is just part of the game, and I'll come back stronger," Stevenson assured fans. Fans have been looking forward to seeing Stevenson and Cordina square off. The injury disrupts Hearn's strategy of positioning Stevenson for a major showdown with Gervonta "Tank" Davis in 2025. The two undefeated fighters, both of whom hold titles in the lightweight division, have been circling each other for some time, with a potential matchup looming large on the horizon. Hearn had planned for Stevenson to face William Zepeda in early 2025 as part of a two-fight deal, with the goal of setting up a blockbuster fight between Stevenson and Tank later in the year. However, with Stevenson now sidelined, those plans will have to be adjusted. Stevenson's recent injury comes after a series of performances that some fans and analysts, including boxing commentator Tim Bradley, found underwhelming. Bradley has speculated that Stevenson might be dealing with more injuries than he lets on, contributing to his cautious style in the ring. Bradley said, "Since moving up to lightweight, I think Shakur has been hiding some health issues. His last few fights haven't been as sharp, and he seems hesitant to engage fully. While Stevenson's careful, defensive style has earned him wins, it hasn't always been the most exciting for fans. During his 2016 Olympic run, his cautious approach ultimately led to a loss in the finals, and some critics believe he's carried that amateur style into his professional career. Still, his technical prowess and ring IQ have earned him respect, and he remains one of the top fighters in the lightweight division." Anthony Joshua recently praised Stevenson, calling him the best boxer in the U.S. today. This high praise comes at a time when Stevenson has faced criticism from some corners of the boxing world for his style and recent performances. Joshua's endorsement gave Stevenson a boost in confidence, and Stevenson responded on social media, expressing his admiration for Joshua. "Appreciate that, champ. I'm rocking with you for your next fight." Joshua's praise is especially significant given the other prominent names in U.S. boxing, such as Gervonta Davis and Terence Crawford. It's clear that Stevenson has made an impression on some of the sport's biggest names, even if his recent hand injury has temporarily halted his progress. Despite this, tensions between Stevenson and Davis continue to simmer. Recently, promoters Eddie Hearn and Leonard Ellerb engaged in a heated exchange about the potential fight between Stevenson and Tank. Hearn has been pushing for the matchup, stating that it would be one of the biggest fights in the sport and that Stevenson has the talent to challenge Tank. Hearn remarked, "Tank's an exceptional fighter, but Shakur could give him real trouble. This fight would be huge for boxing." However, Ellerb dismissed the idea that Stevenson could beat Tank, although he acknowledged that the fight would eventually happen. "Tank is on another level," Ellerb said. "Shakur's a good fighter, but he can't beat Tank." It's not even close. Despite the back and forth, both camps seem to agree that the fight is inevitable, and fans are eagerly awaiting its arrival. However, Stevenson's injury complicates the timeline. With surgery keeping him out until 2025, the fight likely won't happen until later that year. Eddie Hearn remains optimistic, stating that once Stevenson recovers, the fight against Tank can be lined up as one of the biggest events in boxing. If Shakur continues to build his profile and Tank keeps doing what he's doing, this fight will be massive, Hearn said. Shakur Stevenson, despite the injury, is still seen as a major player in the lightweight division. His undefeated record and technical skill make him a dangerous opponent for anyone, including Gervonta Davis. The two fighters, both undefeated, represent the pinnacle of the lightweight division, and a fight between them would not only unify titles, but also determine who the top dog is at 135 pounds. Tank Davis, for his part, remains focused on his own career. He recently knocked out Frank Martin in a show-stopping performance, further cementing his reputation as one of the most dangerous fighters in the sport. While some criticize Davis for taking time to warm up in fights and losing early rounds, his power and ability to finish fights are undeniable. Tank's co-trainer, Kenny Ellis, recently commented on the potential Stevenson fight, suggesting that Stevenson wouldn't be able to handle Davis's power. They can't be 50-50. Tank can punch, and Shakur can't. It's that simple, Ellis said. Tank might lose some rounds, but when he lands that big shot, it's over. Shakur won't be able to keep up. Ellis also suggested that Stevenson might be getting more credit than he deserves, especially when compared to Tank. Everyone talks about Shakur's speed and technique, but Tank's faster, stronger, and smarter, Ellis claimed. If this fight goes 12 rounds, I'll be shocked. I don't see how Shakur can deal with Tank's power. Despite these doubts, many in the boxing world believe that Stevenson has the skill set to give Davis a real challenge. Boxing legends like Roy Jones Jr. have weighed in on the potential fight, with Jones stating that it will come down to who can adjust better in the ring. Both of these guys are elite. It's going to be about who fights the right fight and makes the right adjustments, Jones said. As fans continue to speculate about how a Davis-Stevenson fight would play out, one thing is clear. When these two finally meet in the ring, it will be one of the most anticipated fights in recent memory. Stevenson's slick defensive style and Tank's knockout power create a fascinating contrast that would make for an unforgettable showdown. Stevenson's injury has only temporarily delayed the inevitable. Once he recovers and gets back to fighting, the pressure will be on to make the Davis fight happen. For now, fans will have to wait, but the anticipation is only building. Until then, Gervonta Davis continues to train and prepare for his next opponent. There's talk of a rematch with Isaac Cruz, whom Davis fought in 2021. Cruz gave Davis one of the toughest fights of his career, and some